Grey, cloudy conditions, but the mist is clearing over the Nurburgring ahead of round 9 of the Blancpain GT Series, round 5 of the Endurance Cup, the 5th and final round. 4 crews still in with a chance of taking the title, but the great news is we're starting to get the cloud finally to burn off. The grid was settled in a quick-fire Q3 session only, and it's got a Lamborghini on pole position. The championship challengers, though, are back in the pack. That qualifying session has made it very, very difficult for the championship challengers. However, but track conditions dry, visibility will be improving. 3 hours of quick fire racing ahead of us, and it really will be quick fire. There are 4 teams still in the mix for the Endurance Cup 2016 as we arrive at the final round at Nurburgring. And hot from victory at Spa 24 Hours, Nicky Katzberg has joined the 99 Row Racing BMW team with Philippe Eng and Alexander Sims.
There's 4 of us in the hunt for the title, and so we've got to really try and win the race, to be honest, and outscore the other 3 cars in the fight for the championship. I think winning is feasible for us, but it's going to be difficult, so that's certainly our goal this weekend.
Mercedes hopes for the Nürburgring rest on the shoulders of Maximilian Buch, Yasemin Jafar and Dominic Baumann, but it's so tight at the top. Can the Mercedes crew from HTP Motorsport come out on top, or will they fall back to the midfield?
Everything what counts is to win. I think we have to win the championship in endurance. Normally we should be strong in endurance races because the car is really good with tire degradation and so on, so I hope we can do something good.
The third of the manufacturers in the mix here at Nürburgring is Bentley, and M Sport have Andy Soucek, Maxime Soulet and Wolfgang Reip going for glory. They really need to deliver. The time to do so, could it be the final round? Let's see.
Yeah, I think we can definitely make it. I mean, 9 points, it's not much, it's a lot at the same time, but it's not much. And we know that the only thing we have to focus on is to win the race in order to win the championship.
McLaren lead the championship by 9 points coming here to the Nürburgring. Duncan Tappy, huge experience in racing McLarens, has been brought in this weekend to join Rob Bell and Combe Ledegar to see if they can deliver win number 3 and with it the title.
The goal is always to win. We will try to do it, and just if we are in any trouble at any moment, we will try to take care and to don't take as much risk as maybe in the beginning of the season. It will be quite difficult because everyone is strong, but we are able to do a good race and we are quite confident about it.
In the Pro-Am class, the gold standard has been set by the Kessel Racing Ferrari crew. Their car shared by Andrea Rizzoli, Alessandro Bonaccini, and most impressively of all by team leader Michel Bronicheski, who has been the absolute pace setter in Pro-Am.
It's very nice to be on the front from very beginning. I hope to the very end. It's just leading 10 points. Everything can happen, but no any chances for mistake. This is our strategy. Very optimistic for this weekend.
The only other team that can challenge the Kessel Racing Ferrari crew is the 74 ISR Audi, driven by Henri Acide, Philippe Gioc, and most impressively all by Franck Pereira, really looking to give Audi glory in the Pro-Am class.
I think we have a good season. The team is doing a great job. Audi will be a very good performance on this track. We're going to fight for it, you know, it's the goal, you know, to win the Pro-Am. It's important for the team, for Audi. All the season Audi was always fighting for the win, so here will be the same things.
In the AM class, there are still 4 groups of drivers who could head for the title at the Nürburgring. From ARC Bratislava, they're running 4th. Miro Konopka, Andrzej Lewandowski and Teodor Muskowski drive the multicoloured 69 Lamborghini, still in with a shout.
We would like to win the race, but the problem is a little bit because of BOP, balance of performance, and it's not good this year for Lamborghini, but we will do as much as possible to win the race or to be on the podium, but we will see. The race is long, so everything can happen.
Lying equal second on points coming to the Nürburgring finale is Jerome Policon's ACA ASP Mercedes team, 87 car shared by Maurice Ritchie, Jean-Luc Bobelic and the hugely entertaining Gilles Vannelet.
Mercedes is very fantastic because there are many corners, very fast, and the stability of the Mercedes is very fine. The feeling is the maximum, very aggressive, because we are very competitive, very confident. Yeah.
Ferrari equal second as well. Rinaldi Racing's 333 example, driven by Pierre Eret. He's had various teammates through the year. He alone comes to the Nürburgring, taking a tilt at the AM title. Will it be his weekend?
I feel good about the Nurburgring in general. I like the Nurburgring, and I feel confident we can do very well because we had a good season so far, except in Paul Ricard, where we got taken out at the start. With a little bit of luck, we will win. If it's enough to win the championship, we'll see.
Not only is Kessel Racing leading the way in Pro-Am, but it's way out clear in the Am class as well. It's 888 Ferrari being driven beautifully all season by Marco Zanettini, Vadim Gitlin, and up from Australia, Liam Talbot.
It's nerve-wracking. When you're leading the championship, it's the strongest position you can be in. On paper we couldn't ask for any more, but now we just need to take it easy, no risks, and hopefully we get a good result this weekend.
But let's take a look at the championship points. The McLaren crew, Rob Bell, Komi Ledegaard and Shane van Gisbergen at top on points at the moment, but a dreadful qualifying session for them. Only the Q3 session was run in the mist and they are way down the order. What we have is Lucas Stoltz leading the pack around. He's in the green Lamborghini on the left-hand side of the circuit. Will Stevens on the outside of the number 28 Audi. Passing Lathoris, the Thai racer in the yellow Ferrari, and Dominic Baumann. Will they be the first four cars? The field getting so close. What's the contact? I think there was contact at the chicane. Looks so the number 3 Audi got caught up in the traffic jam, but the driver's up at the front end of the grid. Let's hope that hasn't delayed the 99 BMW too much. Good start from the pole starter. Look, you can see 2 green Lamborghinis at the front, but Lucas Stoltz doing very, very strong run. Dominic Baumann, can he make the move? Stick around the outside. He was 4th on the starting grid. He's still in 4th position. He goes down to the opening corner. Aston Martin tucks up the inside of him, so it looks a place lost by Dominic Baumann. The Aston Martin's been pitched into a spin. Low impact, but it was caught up on the front of Duncan Cameron, I'm afraid. Pincered and moved around.
And there is the Aston Martin that has been tagged. Has it tagged the barrier or not? But passing Lathoris in a way was the loser out because the Mercedes, the 84 Mercedes, and then having a battle with the 28 Audi coming through this very tight sequence of turns 3, turns 4, and literally you've got a traffic jam of a magnitude which is probably everything you have to confront. And even the Nissan, great start from the 59, big shunt for the 59 McLaren. That's been punted off into the wall.
Well, from McLaren's point of view, if one McLaren had to be damaged, that was the one that wasn't in the championship challenge. So for Andrew Watson, an incredibly short race. That's the exit of turn 4. Many drivers run wide. If you've got a green Lamborghini, please report to the head of the field, because look, Mirko Bortolotti got clear of that sort out at turn 1, and he's chasing off after Lucas Stoltz. So for the Grasser Racing team, a dream start, as we've seen for the McLaren Garage 59 crew. Not so great. Number 59 out of the race by the looks of things. And for the Aston Martin, that will be down the tail of the pack. Had got up into about 5th position, spun round, went across the nose of Duncan Cameron's AF Corsa Ferrari. Now, nose to tail, how long is this train of cars? About 50 cars long.
Well, it's a long, the opening laps, and in fact for the first half of the opening stint, it's going to be pretty much like this. Side by side, people jockeying for position. Andrew Watson walks away from a heavily damaged, he must have got punted somehow or other heavily and just went off to the left into the wall. May not have even been any tyre barrier protection because the barriers are at parts of the track where it's most likely, as we're on board with the Nissan 23 coming up into the chicane. Lucas Onias, he was cautious, he's being very cautious, and you might say rightly so. Why force an issue on the opening lap which might hurt you for the remaining part of the race?
Right, I think we're about to have a change the lead as we look at Lucas Ordonez coming down the start-finish line, because Bortolotti was shaping up to go down inside Stoltz. Stoltz leaving his braking very late and really struggling to get any grip with the car. But these two clear by 4 and a bit seconds over Will Stevens. You see Stevens in the background almost being pushed wide down at turn 1. If that was the battle of for the lead of the race, it'd be really close, but the Lamborghinis have got clear. What a dream situation for them. Safety car,
and I think the reason is there's now a number of cars in positions around the racetrack. So it's not just a full course yellow, it is a safety car, and the advantage that the Lamborghinis enjoyed, that's going to just disappear, but it's necessary. We've got to get cars removed without the pressure of racing, and the Aston Martin is gone. We wait to see where the McLaren, it may still be there. That was heavily damaged on the exit of turn 4.
Well, let's see if we can see what happens in McLaren world. Number 59 is the one that goes off. That's Andrew Watson, left of screen, going through turn 3. Typically very tight, hits the curb a little bit. Now into turn 4, round we go. They're all trying to put the power on. He's caught the grass. He's caught the grass and flipped it right, and then
he was 4 wheels off the racetrack. The car snapped and then instantly just overcorrected and sharply hit the barrier, and that was a big impact. Safety car into the pit lane.
So here we go, just had a quick view of Lucas Ordonez in 6th place, but it's Lucas Stoltz leading the race, and right behind him Mirko Bortolotti, the number 16 Lamborghini, already shaping up to try and pass the sister car, number 19. And we've only had one podium from the Grasso Racing crew, and already You look as though you've lost one of the cars. The Lamborghinis are so close. Bortolotti, I couldn't see him for a second, but in the background, Bauman's going on the outside line in 84 Mercedes. Doesn't seem to have the pace to go around, but look who's going to try and pick the way up the inside.
It's Vervish.
When you get past both in Vervish, number 1 Audi, that was an absolutely sensational, really, really well thought through move.
I mean, just pure classic reading the situation. Now, Will Stevens isn't giving it up, and he's going to be on the inside for turn 3, and he's forcing Vervish wide. That's going to open up an opportunity for Bauman. So the position won back again by Will Stevens, and Dominic Bauman sitting there probably swearing under his balaclava, thinking, how have I been outmaneuvered? And you got Lucas Ordóñez in the Nissan really all set to pounce on any one of these 3 cars directly ahead, because the Nissan tries to go the long way around the Mercedes coming to the final turn, and eventually it has to fall in behind. But the battle is going to be between Will Stevens here, the lead car we see coming in, and directly behind him Frederick Vervish. Vervish got up and actually got ahead, but he wasn't able to make that move stick as they came up into the entrance of turn 2 and then turn 3 that follows.
But the move did stick for the Nissan, because that has moved up. We're now riding with Maxime Soulet right behind Michele Rugolo in the 50 AF Corsa Ferrari. Look for the big Bentley behind the rather sleeker yellow Ferrari. They go down to turn 3. Soulet on the move as he needs to be. He's in 9th place overall. And just up ahead I saw that Ordóñez got the move done, has moved past Dominic Bauman. So the 84 Mercedes back into 6th place. There is the Nissan in 5th. The 2 Audis up ahead, and of course out front the 2 Lamborghinis.
I mean, there have been a number of standout starts to this race. Ordóñez has been one of them. I think Frederick Vervish has been the other. The 2 Lamborghinis they're just scampering away, and there you can see the gap. Mirko Bortolotti ahead now of his sister car, the number 19 of Lucas Stolz, and he's got a 1.3 second advantage, but more importantly, he's got a 2.5 second advantage over Will Stevens in the first of the serious opposition.
And unfortunately, just checking on the progress of the 99 BMW, while the rivals are sort of gaining a place a lap. Rob Bell's up to 15th now, down in 29th position, actually lost ground on that lap.
Just you can see again, Vervish has gotten through cleanly this time, so he's going to be much, much more comfortable. So that pass has taken place down into turn 1. Ordóñez tries to find a way now past Will Stevens, and he makes it stick up into the chicane. He's driving out of his skin here today.
Well, he really is. Not only has he made the positions, but he's made them both very, very clean moves and very positive ones, and there's been no contest. But now, coming back is the Mercedes in 6th place now of Dominic Bauman, but he fancies a chance of getting past the 28 Audi, and he's right under the tail as they come down on the start-finish line. It's going to be a 1/10 of a second between them. And the Bentley, I noticed in their wake, has got the black Ferrari alongside it as they dive down past the pits. Let's have a look if we can fan out. Riding with the Bentley is the black Ferrari up the inside. Yes, it is. And a position lost by Maxime Soulet there. Up the inside goes the Pro-Am leader, Daniel Kalvitz.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Kalvitz has been one of the big movers in this opening. Was it 15 or so minutes into the first stint? So Kalvitz will be all over the back of the yellow Ferrari as Soulet tries to tighten the line, gets the undercut coming through turn 4 as Kalvitz was slightly out of position, couldn't quite again get the throttle opened early enough to give him the acceleration off turn 4. So Will Stevens
was there a puncture?
I think it's a right rear, but let's have a look and see. Are they going to know? There was damage here at the rear of the car before the race started. You can see just under there some of those louvers. If they're going to put the car back into the garage, whatever the problem is, it's more than a puncture. So
well, Rob Bell has just had contact on the car ahead with Marco Bononomi round into the gravel. I think there was a little tap, but anyhow, the Jaguar behind.
I think you have to say there was contact. Now, whether that's damage to the front of the McLaren or not, but the way that the Audi went off into the gravel, that looked like it was an assisted, and there it is, buried. Now watch and see what happens. Can we catch? You have to think that was a little bit of a tip from the rear of the McLaren, because the McLaren runs wide, so we may have an onboard of that. It's difficult to tell from the onboard. Oh yeah, oh no, nothing gentle about that. That was a slam dunk.
There is Ordóñez in the back of the shot,
so
and then Dominic Bauman in 5th place in the Mercedes. Not close enough to make a move, but he's certainly...
Why not? Why not, Bruce? Why not?
Well,
the door was opened, and Stolz didn't defend that.
Well, Dries Van Thor really likes it. Lawrence Van Thor was slightly more measured, but he left the door. He put a chock under it to make sure it stayed open, John.
Well, what he did was he braked earlier than he needed to do. Maybe he's got a problem. We don't know. And look, the Bentley has now finally got ahead. And watch the Mercedes 91 moving down the inside to try and get upside. a hip and a shoulder from the Mercedes on
and a
the
spin.
Audi.
The Lamborghini 101 is
Zampieri's spun
all the work for many. Now look how long he has to wait. Another 30 cars will come past before he can get going. Well, let's have a look at the replay, having a look down the inside of Norbert Cedar in the Jaguar.
Wow.
And what's in the way? Daniel Zampieri. So Zampieri pitched into a spin, so the score is either 2-0 or 0-2 for Rob Bell at the moment.
Baz Linders, I mean, he's got the rule book out, he's just checking.
He's costing that.
He's got to see.
That's on Bell's bill.
Well, I mean, this is what a team manager is there to do. Ludwig down the inside of Rugolo, so the Ferrari seemingly has got an issue that it can't maintain the pace that it had. And look at Ludwig just about consolidates that pass. Got now Frank Stippler, who was rudely heaved out of the way one lap ago by the Mercedes. He's looking to find a way now from the performance of the Ferrari, whether it's a tyre problem or look at the damage to the front right corner of that. Lucky not a night-time event. But now the McLaren looks to go up the outside of the number 50 Ferrari. Now it's going to go again, take the long way around, but it's a big risk to go that because the outside of the corner is dirty, but he's stuck with it side by side with the 50 Ferrari.
Job done.
Force. No, it's not done.
It is done.
It is not done.
They got the kick. Oh, I didn't think Rugolo would hold on through the stint.
It is now. It is now. But
is he going to come up?
He's going to try and get. But that was a brave move around the outside of turn 14, and Rugolo held him all the way down to the curve in the middle of that back straight, but finally had to concede position. It's between car number 58 and 25 in turn 8. We know who 58 is. That's Rob Bell. Car 25, Marco Bononomi, under investigation.
Oh, absolutely. And so the black and white flag was a mere warning, but
well, I mean,
there's an old rule: 3 strikes and you're out. But in motor racing, it can sometimes be 1 strike.
Well, certainly that was a significant contact. We saw it from on board, and that will be part of the evidence that's going to be reviewed by the race stewards.
Well, just looking at the standings in the AM class, it's being led by Guedes in number 51. Just looking across the pit lane, John, you're pointing to the Garage 59 crew.
Well, I think
number 85's gone for a spin.
85.
Clement Schmidt, he was just outside the top 10, 13th position. He'll be losing loads, and that's good news for BMW. You can see them flashing past in the background. They have got to gain every single place they can. That might get them onto the front page of the timing screen. The number 7 Bentley crew will be gaining positions as well, but they are not in the championship hunt.
Now there is the 58 McLaren running on its own in 11th place.
58 goes the collision with car 25. Drive-through penalty, car 58 goes the collision with car 25.
Well, we've just heard the message that they didn't want to hear in Garage 59. A drive-through penalty for car 58. That is the championship leading car. And Duncan Tappy throws his head back. Oh, the battle was coming their way. Baz Linders, the team boss behind him with the headphones, will be staying as calm as he can on the outside, but he knows that was likely to come their way. 2 incidents, and they didn't get away with both of them. And suddenly that changes the landscape for the McLaren crew, but all they've got to do is just go absolutely flat out and see what comes their way. But this could be the absolute fly in the ointment.
And I mean, I bet you the guys down at M-Sport and Bentley, maybe that's not the way they'd like to take this championship, but you know, it's a tough championship. You have to take what you're given, and the drive-through penalty is probably going to add another 30 plus seconds to their race time. He is coming in at the earliest opportunity to take that drive-through penalty. He can drive at whatever speed he can up until he gets to the white line. It's coming up to it very shortly. Then it's down to 50. There you can see him slowing down to 50 kilometers per hour. And it's a crawl as the Hubert Haupt Mercedes comes in for an early pit stop. And you know, for a lot of teams, especially at the beginning of the pit lane, I would want to come in early, because if you wait until everybody else comes in, not only are you going to have to deal with the traffic in the pit lane, which is going to be entering and leaving and slowing down, do it when the pit lane is virtually clear. Go off message a little bit, which is what Baz Linders probably had planned to do, but now that's been cast to the 4 winds, and they're the Mercedes and the McLaren.
Where is he slotting back in? Is that
just ahead of the Italian BMW?
And that's number 15, and that is 24th position.
Through sticker tyres going on to the Nissan. So Takaboshi is going to have all the toys to play with when he gets back out on track on the 23 Nissan. Sister car, the 22, just looking to see whether it has made its way up on. I think it may well have also been a stopper, because it's not showing another page 1 or 2, as Matthew Simmons was behind the wheel of that car. So out goes the 23, Takaboshi behind the wheel. And the 19, and that's a disappointment. for the 19. That's lost. Well, maybe it hasn't. There's the Lamborghini. So is the Nissan going to be ahead when they get to the pit lane exit? Yes,
it's
just
agonising, but place gained.
Wow, nice one. He took a long time to get to the tail. So the Lamborghini would appear to have been holding him back. But anyway.
Well, wouldn't mind us looking at a replay, but thank you very
Andrew,
much. That's Duncan Tappy now on board. He's right opposite us in the 58 McLaren. 0-3 on the windscreen of the 84 Mercedes. That's been the one we've almost looked at the least in this race. It got a clean start, was running in 5th place, and then just on the tail of Lucas Ordóñez. Let's see how good that pit stop is, because we saw the place changing between, it was so close in that battle. Stoltz in the 19 Lamborghini, then the 23 Nissan, and then the 84 Mercedes, so close. He had an extra lap before he came in. Was that going to be good enough to vault him up a position? Find out shortly. And again, being near pit exit, in fact they are the crew at pit exit, the HTP Motorsport crew, is this their chance? Again, sticker tyres going on for there. Dominic Baumann is out.
They've got to get the engine firing, and it's
lights are on, so it's fired up.
Slow, and they've lost again. Other cars are getting ahead of it. They're having a problem to get this car rolling, so are they holding it or are they letting it? Well, I think it looked like they were holding it actually. So the work is done, the car is out. Just look.
Oh, second
down, they sweep past the 84.
So places keep on changing. The Nissan came out ahead of the Lamborghini got ahead of the Nissan. Nissan's got back ahead. We thought the Mercedes might have done enough to jump all of them, but the battle for what is effectively 3rd place after this first round of pit stops has gone the way of the Nissan crew, but brand new tyres on there, and Takaboshi's making them work. Now they're getting heat into them, and we saw brand new tyres going also onto the 84 Mercedes. That is a championship challenger. The Nissan and the Lamborghini are not so much. Oh, it's not what we see out on the circuit. It's what pops up on the screen that is making them. It's a place gained on the circuit is one thing. Much more potential to lose it in the pits. And car under investigation is car number 8, 7th overall in the race, running very strongly in the championship. Wolfgang Reip has just taken it over. We understand. We're not quite sure what happened in the changing of the wheels. It could have been
we didn't see
a wheel was put down where it wasn't supposed to be.
It's one of those things that may have occurred. We know that where was it, Mazzano at the start of the year, that Bentley did have a problem with one of the wheel nuts and the way the wheel attached to the hub. They had to descend the car because they couldn't, the wheel wouldn't come off. I think when they got back to the pits at the end of that event, it took them about half an hour to get the thing off. So whether that's a repeat of that incident or whether it's another incident we don't know about, but in the meantime, that's disappointment because the number 8 car was the best placed car currently in the race to take victory in the endurance part of the Blancpain Sprinter GT series. Car 77 speeding in the pit lane, so attempt to racing. The Porsche, well, it has to be quick somewhere, so it's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
So very up and down day for them. Of course, their 101 Lamborghini was taken for a spin. There is the message on screen. As Jazeman Jafar looks down the outside, will he be able to duck around the wider entry and the narrow exit? Oh, got super close, nearly touched the back of Michele Beretta's Lamborghini. Still the Lamborghini in 4th place, but with a sweeping run, he won't be able to go around the outside. Maybe he can tuck round underneath and take a dive up the inside into turn 3. Will it work, John Watson? Will it? Not this time around, but he's half alongside.
He has. He's done it.
How did he do that?
I have to say, Michele Beretta sort of,
Seeded the corner.
He gave that up. I mean, and maybe he did it because he recognised that the Mercedes is quicker than him, and he'd done a good job in maintaining position, maintaining station, but eventually decided, well, I don't want to have any contact. I want to keep my race clean. I'll let the Mercedes go. It's in a battle for the championship. We're not directly involved in the championship, but we're just coming up to halfway through this race, and lots of things can interfere.
Oh, the little voices in our ears. Bad news for the Bentley fans. Looking so good. 0-8 on the screen, 8th position in the race, 8 on the door. The pit stop was not adjudged to have been completed. Number 8 Bentley has to come through to the pits, and what we understand, it's quite possible they didn't change all 4 wheels. A massive oversight if that indeed is the case. But the 8 Bentley crew, just when it was starting to come their way, they, like the McLaren crew, have to come back into the pit lane.
What a great view of the McLaren pointing the wrong way. Well, I wonder how that all happened. What's gone on? What, Duncan, have you done? Coming into turn 1, was that an assist, or was that, when you're having to shake, thinking he's got gravel on the tyres, and it's just going in a way you couldn't imagine how much, oh dear.
But it's the bodywork rubbing on the 85 car. So
it is.
left corner.
That might have been an assist. That might have been why they made Karen.
Yeah.
So that was the 85 car. Here we see it. What's happening? Coming down. Well, Duncan closes the door very end of his. Well, I think that'll be adjudged a racing incident. I mean, Duncan Tappy was fractionally ahead, but as the Mercedes was coming down, the gap was closing, and there it is. He would say that it was the Mercedes' fault. The Mercedes would say I was given room, and the door got closed very quickly. So it'll go down, in my view, as being an incident.
We're seeing the 58 McLaren, the car that was leading the championship, the crew that was leading the championship, had a clash with the Mercedes. Bodywork's rubbing on the Mercedes 85, but the driver there is keeping going. And so Indy Donchi, the young Dutch racer, keeping going. And the Garage 59 crew, they're the first garage in the pit lane getting ready to welcome, if that's the term you'd use, a car that's still in with a championship lead, but this is a problem that could suddenly put it in the way of the HGP Motorsport Mercedes crew, or more than likely the BMW crew. Road Racing up to 14th place for Sims there, so it's looking increasingly strong.
So car 58 and car 85. Contact under investigation. Car 85, please check your transponder. Should be position 1. I mean, that's all a bit fundamental. There is Dries van Thor in the second place Audi, and the gap between the lead and the Audi is fractionally up again, 7.8 seconds, and that's just to say we refer to this ebb and flow of having to manage the traffic that's ahead of you and around you. There is the lead Lamborghini, and last lap for that car was 158.6. For second place Audi, Dries van Thor 58.1. For the third place Takaboshi, and he's now got that gap between second and third. We've sort of not been keeping an eye on that one, but it's down to 16.7 seconds. So he's been driving in relatively clear air and making, I'm going to say, hey, while the sun's somewhere. They actually, if you look skyward, there's something called blue up there.
I don't dare look skyward, John. There's too much happening on the track. Duncan Tappy's just had that puncture change very quickly. Come back out right alongside the Derek Pierce-driven Team Parker Bentley. That's tumbled way, way down the order. Round the final corner they go. That got very close between the 8 Bentley and the 91 Mercedes.
Imagine what would happen if the 7 Bentley overtook the 8 Bentley. Somehow, I don't think that's going to be permitted. But look, Van Bill has got a head of steam, and he's trying to find his way around the Mercedes of Andreas Simonsen, and contact with the 91?
Well, that was 91 going up the inside
and
past
that
8.
Position. Look, the 7 Bentley might sweep. No,
almost without trying to.
Yeah.
He could get past the sister car. Suddenly things going badly for 8.
Yeah, but I mean, surely the team are going to say, and look at the 8 cars.
Is there something wrong with 8? He couldn't get the braking done.
There's oil. I think there's fluid down, and there's something there. Both Bentleys suddenly began to slide out of what I would consider to be a normal situation. Oh, the Bentley's gone off. Look, the number of the Parker Bentleys. Is that fluid again from the car?
Well, it's like one Bentley could have dropped some liquid that could have taken all 3 of them off the circuit.
Still trying to get through. So what has gone on? I think there might have been more fluid on the track.
And look, Andreas Simonsen now taking a really good look at Roggeview. The 87 and 91 Mercedes side by side. Sorry, 57 and 91. Advantage going the way of 57. And Simonsen down the inside. Still behind Alexander Matchell, doing a great job. Brilliant opening stint in the 66 by Daniel Kalvitz, but Matchell, he made some mistakes early on. The Bentley's lights flashing. Are they dropping any oil?
No,
that the 7's picking up?
I think there might be fluid in turn 3. It's hard to tell because it looks so unusual to see the both Bentleys. 7 has now overtaken 8, and obviously there's been no let him go. I mean, whatever. And Stephen Kane, as we see, just waiting.
Very different eye expression. Stephen Kane, who will be getting on for the final stint in the number 7 Bentley, looking very happy, and the shaded eyes of Andy Soucek in the 8 Bentley, the championship challenging car from M Sport, looking very different indeed. Maybe they're now going to use number 7 to chase after and try and just put the pressure on any cars ahead. The car it really needs to catch, of course, is the 84 Mercedes in 4th place.
At which point is the 84
Mercedes in from 4th place.
So Jasper Jafar hops out and Maximilian Buch gets in. That car came in 4th place. The Ferrari in 5th place was some 10 seconds behind at the end of the last lap.
Right, here's the Audi that counts, number 1.
This is
in
the
from
pit stop.
2nd.
This is the pit stop that will either win or lose the race for WRT.
Nissan staying out for a further lap.
Lamborghini still in its pit box waiting for the Audi to begin rolling. So we're still waiting for the Lamborghini to... There it goes. So where is the Audi? Is it coming? It hasn't. There it moves now. So the gap is sort of status quo.
Status quo, maybe plus half a second to the Lamborghini crew, if anything, one would say, but it's very hard to tell from that position. Wolfgang Reich was struggling.
They got it off. Well done, well done. Now, is there a penalty for that because he lost control of the wheel?
No, he was still holding it. He was lying he's sitting on his back end.
So that indicates just how hard sometimes it is to remove a wheel with the heat of the hub, the different materials, the expansion or contraction, or expansion in most cases with the heat. So Bentley is rolling, so finally it gets underway. Andy Soucek.
Well, pat on the back for that mechanic.
Good job. There he is. He's going to get a couple of beers tonight. He can choose either Belgium or Germany, whatever his choice is.
So just waiting for one more lap, then our screen should finally show us the picture, maybe 1.5 more laps, the ultimate picture, but expect the 16 Lamborghini to be back at the top of the field. It's a question of how close the number 1 Audi is. It's now got Laurens Vanthoor on board. How far behind? Nearly 5 seconds behind. So that advantage has swung the way again. It went down to about 2 seconds before the pit stops.
And heavily into the barriers.
Is that 100 or 101? Either way, it's in the barriers.
Not quite sure which part of the racetrack that is. I mean, the slightly wider view. And that's going to bring out a full course yellow, if not a virtual safety car. So that's gone in pretty heavily. That's down at the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit, and it's travelled rather a long way to get there because you've got to go through the gravel trap, and then you've got what ostensibly is rather sunburnt grass.
Just as we're about to re-establish who is placed where, we now have a full course yellow just into the third and final hour at the Nurburgring. Well, there's the gap between first and second. It is now down to nothing. That's official. The 16 Lamborghini in the lead of the race. But the number 1 Laurens Vanthoor driven Audi is right under its rear wing, waiting for the restart. And Christian Engelhardt will have to get it all absolutely spot on if he's going to keep the charge from Laurens Vanthoor. No wins for Vanthoor so far this year in the Endurance Cup, and will be very, very, very keen to see if he can put one on the board this afternoon at the Nürburgring. We've got 3/4 of an hour remaining, a little bit more than that. But once we get racing, maybe Vanthoor and Vervisch can add something to their challenge. Andrea Rizzoli doing a very good job, but he's down in 4th place in GT in the Pro-Am class, but I think that might slightly change once these pit stops have been finally listed off the screen.
And look at the number of cars there. Is that, I think that might be the 23. It is. Yeah. That's the 20. It's going to have a lot of work to get past those dozen or more cars.
More than the time. It's the problem with the dozen cars just waiting for the restart. So at the moment, after a brief hiatus, it's still by 1 point now, the McLaren crew ahead of the 84 HTP Mercedes crew, just 1 point behind, and they in turn are now 8 points clear of Bentley. It's gone away from the 8 Bentley crew, so suddenly the quietest race of all the runners, but started near the front, the 84 Mercedes crew right in the hunt now. 1, 2, 3, off they go.
There we go. So Vanthoor stuck as close as he conceivably could to the back of the Lamborghini. Now tyres will be down in temperature, probably a little bit down in pressure for this. That was a long safety car intervention, so the car will feel a little bit different, albeit that most of these tyres are pretty fresh because the safety car intervention came relatively early in this final stint. So no disadvantage or advantage to the lead. Under braking, the bit of a lock-up on Laurens Vanthoor on that one without having a second invitation. So the Lamborghini under brakes, the rear brakes.
Big wobble.
They give a twitch and
in the background though, John, I just could see the Nissan now. How much has Maxi Boot gained? Because Nissan's holding the 3rd place that Maxi Boot in the 84 Mercedes wants. Let's wait in the background. The shot we're going to see them coming through should be better. There's the Nissan. Oh, he's gained a couple of car places ahead of the 84 Mercedes. That's been very, very positive restart there for Alex Buncombe.
Absolutely. I mean, he's managed
bought himself time.
Yep, he's managed to leapfrog, and that's put the 84 car right on the back foot. And where is it? Where is the 84? We can't even see. There's it coming down the inside. So Maximilian Buch somehow or other got really heavily compromised, whereas Alex Buncombe did a blinder.
Let's have a look at the restart from Alex Buncombe's point of view. Well, he went just straight past one car. Now he's going to dive up the inside, down the inside of the Mercedes. 2.5 by the exit of the corner. He's still at 2.5, but
he's got to go the long way around the outside. He's going past the Butson-Gini BMW.
That's positive.
That was a no-brainer because Alex Buncombe just had more momentum, pace. But basically, he's a professional driver. The AM BMW is generally it is an AM-driven car. Yeah. So the Nissan opportunistic got massive advantage into turn 1 by getting past the Italian BMW. There's the battle for the lead of this race, ultimately for the victory of this race. So Laurens Vanthoor has not let the 16 Lamborghini get away, and we saw the Lamborghini look to be a little bit twitchy under braking as they came into turn 1 of the opening lap.
Tension down in the number 1 Audi pit. They may yet win this race.
So let's look and see. I mean, it's academic, the gap in terms of first and second, but it's not academic second to third. That's just over 2 seconds, I would say. 2.8 seconds. Another quick lap. Well, this time only up a couple of tenths of a second. Van Thor looks down the inside, but the Lamborghini had just enough space to shut the door. That was a long way back that Lawrence Van Thor came, kind of caught out Engelhard, but luckily, Lawrence Van Thor had sufficient in hand to slow his car down and avoid any contact.
It was a skin of paint was the difference between them.
There wasn't a lot between them,
one.
but that was a judgment, a very fine judgment. He went for the pass, wasn't quite sure he could execute it, and he was able to just consolidate, I think is the word I want to use.
Another thing I want to keep an eye on is we're about to have the championship leader in Pro-Am go past the championship challenger, because Andrea Rizzoli in the 11 Kessel Racing Ferrari just 1.6 seconds down on the 74 Audi. Even if they finish as they are, it will be the Pro-Am championship in the Endurance Cup going the way of Broniczewski's crew in that 11 Ferrari. But if they can get ahead, get onto at least the second place on the Pro-Am podium, well, that will be absolutely job done for them. But has the job been done by Lawrence Van Thor? He gave a chance to unsettle Christian Engelhard down into turn 1. It came from a long way back, just managed to avoid contact, catching the two of them, but the margin by which he's closing in is starting to decrease a little bit. Is Alex Buncombe, the 23 Nissan, looking for their best results of the year. Talbot, Zanutini and Gitlin still on course to win the AM class, but they're only 2 points clear. They're way down the order. And in fact, they've hardly featured on our screens at all.
No, I mean,
outside the top 40 positions.
Very unusual to see that car running so far down.
And the challenging car with Ritchie is 20th overall, first in class. Will that be enough? There's the question. He can't score any more points than coming first. You feel that's gone as far as it can, so it will be enough if it stays as it is for Talbot, Zanutini and Gitlin to pip the ACA ASP Mercedes crew. So it could go the way of Ferrari, but boy, they didn't expect it to get this close. Twisting away in the background is the Nissan of Alex Buncombe. What a fantastic final stint he's had in this race, but it looks, as we go down towards, that's turn 6 now, just enough exit speed for the Lamborghini, should hold on. Possible chance to challenge down into the hairpin. Please don't make that move, thinks Baz Linders. As long as these cars finish as they do, it won't matter that Komi Ledegar is finishing in 30th position in their 58 McLaren, because that will be enough. It won't give them points, but the fact the HTP Motorsport Mercedes number 84 is running 4th, not looking as though it's going to get close enough to make a challenge, nowhere near close enough as Lawrence Van Thor challenges. The McLaren team will take the title. If anything, actually, Alex Buncombe's backed off a tiny little bit. He got close to the tail of this grouping, but final third of the lap, the green Lamborghini, number 16, leading the way. Lawrence Van Thor, one last chance. The only place it can come is at the chicane. He makes a slightly smoother exit of the Bilstein curve. They now go through the kink at Van Bogen. Up the hill they come for the final time to the chicane. Surely the Lamborghini has done enough. Christian Engelhard will be able to turn in unchallenged into the chicane as long as he doesn't bounce over the curbs too much. A little bounce over the inside curb. He's done the job. Having a look up the inside into the final corner. Will he get a better exit? The Lamborghini will just possibly hang on, drifting sideways through the final corner, the 15th and final turn. But victory to the 16 Lamborghini. What's the margin? 0.35 of a second. And they're 1.6 seconds further back. So, Grasser Racing Lamborghini team beside themselves with joy, and in McLaren land they will be celebrating as well. They will have taken the Endurance Cup on a day when it looked as though it had gone horribly, horribly wrong. And you have to feel lights flashing. Maxi Bouk gave his greatest shot there, but just couldn't get past the cars between he and Alex Buncombe in the Nissan. But Buncombe got away and held on to that third position that was so vital for the McLaren Championship success. Komi Ledegar must be thinking, I finished 30th. Have I got the message? Did you just tell me we have won the championship? And now he knows. Whew, what a day for the McLaren team. Look in his eyes. He can see the tears are coming. That was a race that looked to have been thrown away. They didn't have the form this weekend. And yet somehow, the Garage 59 McLaren crew have done what they needed. What a story. And Mirko Bortolotti loving the victory, the outright victory on the day for the 16 Lamborghini crew, welcoming Christian Engelhardt, who brought it home. Rolfin Eichen, the driver, in the middle stint, but for Lamborghini, a nice fillip towards the end of the season. And here are the results. Lamborghini 16 taking the victory by under half a second from just resisting the charge from the number 1 Audi, Lawrence Van Tor at the wheel, and coming hard on their tails. We had Alex Buncombe, he took 3rd place. That was crucial. If the 84 Mercedes that finished 4th had gone 1 place higher, they would have been celebrating the championship, not the Garage 59 McLaren crew. 5th place for the top car in Pro-Am. That's the Black Pearl Racing Team. Great opening stint from Daniel Karlwitz in that. But then we look down to 20th place to see the next class winner. That was in the AM class, and it was the number 87 Mercedes ACA ASP, but it wasn't to prove enough for them to take honours in that class in the Endurance Cup.
Well, I'm with the winning Lamborghini team, but all of a sudden the whole team, the children are here. Mirko Bortolotti, Christian Engelhardt. Christian, let me ask, you had a stunning drive that final stint. You're under pressure all the way from Lawrence Van Tor. You never put a wheel wrong.
Yeah, it was really a hard race, but all thanks to Mirko, who did a fantastic job at the start and gained us all the positions into the lead. For me, the job was to bring it home, and it was a tough fight for sure. He challenged me a lot, but it was a lot of fun also, and I'm very happy to bring it home for the whole team, working so hard all the season, and ending the season with the win is so great.
Well, great job. Mirko, you've been on it all weekend. You were quick on Friday. Where has this pace come from? I haven't quite seen it all year.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're pushing really hard every race, and we're getting the maximum out of the car. So we are really happy. Actually, last year I was on pole here. This morning was unlucky in traffic. I think I was on the way there, fighting at least for it. But in the race it was massive. I really had a good start, managed to gain some places, get in the lead. And I want to dedicate this win to the whole team, to all 1,500 employees of Lamborghini working so hard in Sant'Agata. Thank you very much.
Well done, Mirko. Rolfin Eichen, you're the 3rd driver. You're the middle driver, in fact, in the stint. I mean, what delight must you be? It was fantastic effort all through.
Yeah, it was a great race. We had really a good car. The team did a great job. Car was really good to drive. We have to thank the whole team. It's hard work. We had a hard year, a lot of disappointments in the year, and now we're really happy about this victory. Really happy.
So I think you should be a brilliant job. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now let's go down to the world of McLaren, and if anybody can get a smile from Baz Linders, you have to feel it's John Watson.
Rob Bell, I mean, you've been getting congratulations from all over the paddock. What a tense day this has been.
Yeah, you could say that. This morning's qualifying was a lottery with the weather and red flags. So it kind of meant the first stint was going to be difficult for everyone. And look, we did a great job. We got the car much better overnight. The beginning of my stint was really good. We were competitive and going forward, and then I made a stupid mistake and outbraked myself a bit, and unfortunately hit the Audi ahead. But look, that's racing. I apologise to them. It's one of those things. It's happened to me before. And look, we got lucky. We stayed on the track, kept going, got a drive through, but hung on in there till the end. And it's great for everyone at Garage 59 and McLaren and Shane in New Zealand. Duncan stepped in, did his bit, fantastic job, and obviously Com did his bit as well. So we're absolutely delighted, even though we've had a pretty terrible weekend.
Com, these are emotional moments, and we think you said some of those when you were behind the wheel coming back into the paddock. Yes. Well, look, congratulations, fantastic season for you. The man who's masterminded all this, of course, is one of the great characters, personalities, not just in the paddock, everywhere. Baz Linders. I mean, how many people in the pit lane did you go and talk to say, can you help us, can you help us?
Well, this weekend, not many, but I mean, I tried to get a good contact with both teams because we're all competitors and we're all there on track to fight each other and to have a nice championship. But yeah, it's been very tough weekend for us this weekend, but our good results at the beginning of the season managed to keep the advantage.
Victory on the day in the AM class went to the 87 crew. Maurice Ritchie on the right, Mobilic in the middle, and Gilles Vannelet waiting for his cup, the third of the trophies for the winners. I think they enjoyed that very much indeed. He said, if the weather's bad, we will do well. He thought it was going to be wet. It was foggy this morning, but they've come out on top. And there they take the victor's check in the AM class. And the two trophies to, first of all, German racer Alexander Matschel, and then compatriot Daniel Kalwitz for the Pro-Am Cup, the Black Pearl Racing Ferrari crew. Overall championship, though, to the crew on the left from Kessel Racing. Victory went to Lamborghini, looking super strong this weekend for Grasser Racing Team. The sister car fell down the order to 6th place at the finish, but 1st and 6th in such a competitive field. Hugely pleasing for the Grasser Racing Team. Mirko Bortolotti on the right-hand side of the podium. Such a strong stint from him. Christian Engelhardt on the left, and in the middle, Rolf Ineichen. Very, very pleased with their day's entertainment and performance here at the Nurburgring. Well, how close do you want your championship finale to end? 1 point is the McLaren's crew's advantage at the end of the 5 rounds of the Endurance Cup. Rob Bell, Komi Ledegar, Shane van Gisbergen away this weekend did just enough. Yasemin Jafar, Dominic Baumann and Maxi Buch in that final stint, trying to get the 3rd place that would have given the title. Didn't come their way. McLaren down in 30th, held on. That's a storyline.
I mean, you couldn't believe a car that finishes 30th can win the championship. Didn't score a single point, so just one of those things.
Now we're looking at the champions in the various classes, starting in the AM class. And up on the top step of the podium is Liam Talbot in the black overalls with the red and white marks on. In fact, didn't finish in the top 40, and yet they took the title, and they being bombed by Baz Linders is coming up onto the podium.
Well, Baz is irreplaceable, irrepressible, and I mean, such a tough season. And I mean, Rob Bell put his hand up and said, look, I made a mistake, didn't do it intentionally, but it was a substantial heave to the back of the, I think it was 74 or 75. But there they are, all up. And in fact...
So it's Pro-Am on the left of the podium, overall on the top step, the Pro class, and the AM winners on the right-hand side.
And the AM winners, their car, again, out of contention pretty much all through this race, yet they hung on to win that category.
And there, Garage 59, 71 points. That's the team points in the Endurance Cup, just staying ahead of the M Sport team by dint of one better result. Championship victory in the Endurance Cup went to the Garage 59 McLaren crew. They take the honours. Next round, Barcelona.